the media are covering the protests less and less, okay? Remember, these are the cronies, these are the tools, they do the dirty work for the establishment. They have a vested interest in maintaining the status quo. They're not interested in getting equality for African Americans. They're not interested in defunding the police. Remember when the CNN building was under attack? Who was protecting the CNN building? They have no interest in changing the status quo. So they're covering it less and less, right? I don't think they even covered it properly in the first place, because not only were they not showing the full extent of police brutality, but on top of it, you know, they tried to portray everyone protesting as looters and rioters, you know, trying to delegitimize, discredit the Black Lives Matter movement and just everybody protesting for racial equality, okay? So that's that. But now they're trying to cover it less and less. And what you see happening a lot when they cover it, pay attention, what they're doing is that they're not covering real issues. They're not showing you, look, LA City Council defunded the police. This is great. We should be doing this all over the country. Why aren't we doing this? I covered it on this channel. Did you see it? Did you see them cover that much? No, but they will show you the Minneapolis 3rd Precinct burning, because that way they can show you that, oh, look, they're violent. Anyway, the point is right now, when they do cover the protests, what do they show you? They show you the platitudes, right? They'll show you like, oh, look, they painted a street in front of Trump Towers. They're going after a big bad orange Cheeto man. Motherfucker, no one cares about what they painted on the street. Defund the police. Defund the police. And then they tell you stuff like, oh, look, they changed the street sign or the street name, or, you know, Bill de Blasio goes and does a fucking conference about platitude, verbal diarrhea. We're not interested. Defund the police. Where are these resources going? There needs to be very concrete, you know, very clear, distinct demands that are being met here. They're not interested. They're not interested because these politicians, especially de Blasio, I mean, speaking of him, he's beholden to the police unions. He's too scared. And when they do anything, it's all platitude salads, right? Oh yeah, they'll do like a little, you know, some great examples, some great examples that Glenn Greenwald mentioned the other day on his video about, you know, how Congress helps the U.S. empire keep going. You know, they'll paint the White House in pride colors, or for example, they'll do a Women's Day celebration of all their CIA operatives. But they keep the fucking killing going. They keep the wars and the empire going, which is in direct contradiction of everything that progressives, everything that socialists want, which is what? Equality, fair wages, representation in government. Do you understand? So they give you these little platitudes to demark themselves and pretend that they're in opposition to the Republicans and that they're better. And, you know, it's never concrete action, though. It's never real results. And so the media, they're trying to do this now, right? They'll try to delegitimize Black Lives Matter. They delegitimize the protests. And then afterwards, you know, when they do positive coverage, it's just platitudes. It's not the real stuff, like the real meat. So taking the money out of the police and giving it to responders that are social workers, that are maybe medics. Who knows? But they're not coming in with a badge and a gun ready to kill you because of some you know, some argument or a quarrel or a counterfeit bill. This is lunacy. This is... right? So they won't cover that. The media won't address that. They have a vested interest in maintaining the current power structures, the status quo. So that's why I say that I really hope that the protests and the intensity, the potency of them don't fizzle out until every single one of the demands is met. It should go beyond racial equality. It should be, you know, Medicare for all, UBI, you know, reforming the criminal justice system, putting an end to the prison industrial complex. There should be no such thing as private prisons. Every single one of these things should be met. They're all connected. This is how you get real liberation. And man, the military industrial complex, 60% of your budget goes towards bombing people. Why? Why? 60% of the federal budget, again, correct me if I'm wrong, even if it was 10%, you have no business bombing people in other countries. I don't care if it's 1% of your federal budget. But for it to be 60% is even more egregious and even more revolting. All right, that's money that could be building hospitals, could be building schools, could be going back to disenfranchised communities, people that were terrorized by the war on drugs, people that had their livelihoods destroyed by this pandemic that, you know, no. It's going to aircraft carriers, 800 military bases, bombing people. You got to fix it, man. It's, you know, we're all affected by this. Not to mention, you know, another aspect of the military-industrial complex that has come back to haunt and bite people in the ass in the United States is the paramilitarized police forces. I mean, the police, they've always maintained a dominant relationship instead of a subservient relationship, which is what they should be doing. They should be serving, protecting. They say it on their badge. Instead of doing that, they've always been dominating and, playing God, cowboy in their communities. But on top of it, they've been buying armored personnel carriers. They've been buying tear gas. They've been buying rubber bullets. They've been buying, armored Jeeps and Humvees, things that you see on a battlefield. And who's making that money? Who do you think is making that money? The military-industrial complex. And so they've been storing those toys, right? They've been storing them and waiting for them, and now they're coming out to play with them. This is another issue of the military-industrial complex. Same manufacturers, same lobbyists, same people. Follow the money.